Hey guys, HappyCattyCrypto here, and welcome back to the channel. So I've been on a bit of a siesta, touching grass, having a holiday. It's been 2 years since the crash. I just needed some time to take a break and reflect on things, but I'm back now, so let's dive straight into this one. Hey guys, and welcome back. So there's a lot going on, to be quite honest, and I didn't really know where to start with this video. It's just so much going on when you go away for even a couple of days. So much transpires. So there's a lot of different stuff to go through. So let's take a look at this article first, which is a Lunar Classic price prediction. Terra Classic prepares for $1 on recent community developments. And I think this is coming from a very select group of people that are kind of like pushing this narrative, and it's always going to be there. I'm up for anything. I'm up for bullish news. I'm up for stuff like this, but I think the $1 thing kind of makes our blockchain look stupid. In the sense that we know it's not logical, they know it's not logical, but they tout it anyway. This is all really interesting stuff, and we should probably take a look at this and say to ourselves, maybe a more feasible suggestion would be the 0.001 range, because that's really what we should be aiming for. That or a cent on the coin. $1 is not possible with the supply circulating that we have. And speaking of circulating supplies and all of these different things, it's really interesting, something that we're going to be going over in this. And I think the validators are kind of like arguing about this at the moment. There's a lot of back and forthing, so to speak, but no news is bad news. Everything's kind of like a step forward in the right direction, so to speak. And whether you're raising awareness or something and talking about it, it's really good because it leads to action, and action leads to result, and result leads to normally change. And change is really important. We can't stay in the same kind of like place where we've been for the past 2 years, so to speak. So this other article, which is Coinbase moles relisting LUNC, can LUNC 100x from here? I think this is really interesting because LUNC, when it was on Coinbase, it was wrapped, and those of you who have wrapped assets like myself know that you've just had to wave bye-bye to those, and they're not coming back unless somebody puts the liquidity in, opens those lanes up, and allows all of those coins to free flow, as to which you would probably create a very big red candle on the chart. So although once again this is coming from a very select group of people which are renowned for pushing the Coinbase kind of relisting idea, I just don't think it's going to happen. And just because you can see a coin and you can see the chart on a CEX's app doesn't mean that they're going to list it. I can look at LUNC when I'm in the United States on Binance, but I can't buy it. Does that mean they're going to relist it? Of course not. And I think these are like the things that kind of make our blockchain look really stupid to the external people who are looking inwards. And if we act a little bit more maturely and we come up with way better things than just simply Coinbase possibly relisting LUNC, I think we could get a lot further with things. So let's keep this moving. Let's keep looking at all of the different things. So this is what's really caught my eye at the moment. And I had to do a little bit of research and kind of get brought up to speed on this, but there's a proposal up and we'll go over that shortly. But Terra Luna Classic, LUNC and USTC removed from the Luna Foundation Guard, which I think is really interesting because the Luna Foundation Guard's coins were never provided from the community pool. It's not something that we have legal rights over in any way, shape or form. In fact, that would be like me removing your coins or blacklisting your coins, or saying that your coins aren't part of a circulating supply. They don't matter anymore. I don't think we kind of have the right to do this, and it's come from more or less a custom API made from somebody inside the Hexagon group, being Matt Raider, formerly someone who run Terra Rebels more or less during that time. Now, with this all being said, the custom API is allowing for him individually to determine what coins are counted in the total supply, so to speak, because when it comes down to circulating and total supply, a developer would just go, there's only one supply, that's the total supply, and that's all that really matters. When it comes down to obviously us, we look at the we look at the circulating supply and we look at the total supply, and we treat them as two different things. So without getting on a side sort of track situation a little bit too much there, the custom API in itself, nobody should have control over it. I think that's the argument. I don't really have much to say on this at the moment, because I think it's very interesting that this is not the first time somebody's falsified the circulating and total supplies. Vegas did this with CoinMarketCap, and instead of the USTC being burnt in that wallet and the effect happening on the news of it actually being commenced and those coins actually being burnt, they were removed from the supply a long time. We had already seen, I think it was like a 50% candle upwards from having the supply, just merely someone going to them and going, oh, actually those aren't part of the supply, and then merely just trusting in that person, which was Vegas. So we have seen this situation before of someone doing this. I think this is kind of the arguments. Let's go over to wallet.lunc and look at the governance proposal, which is proposal 12103, which is to change the official CS API endpoint to all nodes FCD, which is more or less, if I was to simplify, giving all nodes the control to determine what the supplies are, instead of having someone who can just merely act, which is very dangerous. Because, for example, if you're somebody who performed that, I'm not going to use their name, but if you had performed that and you did have control of that API in order to change those things, and you opened a long position and there was a 25% change, and you had determined that, you're market manipulating at that point. As much as, even if you haven't done that, you're still causing a market manipulation event, which is not quite true. Because like I was saying, those LFG funds are part of the circulating supply. They're not in a contract. They're not sat in a smart. They're there. They are part of the supply. They're accessible. And I think, from my knowledge, and if we go off of kind of like what we know with the coinage interviews and what DK said previously, is that LFG, and in the court documents, was created by TFL. So therefore somebody has access to those funds. And the likelihood is it's DK. We know DK's treasure funds, they haven't been included in the court documents because they can't prove nor deny that the wallet being exposed is therefore the wallet that's connected to that treasure and is connected to the LFG. My point is, we should probably have these official API endpoints with someone like Allnodes, because they'll obey governance from what I know. And from what I'm aware, that they'll obey governance. So if the community says something through governance, we agree through governance, it goes through the correct routes, that they'll abide by that. And I think that's really important, instead of kind of having someone, from what I was made aware, not my words, somebody else's words, is that the person said, oh, well, go and make your own API endpoint, do the work, and you can determine what the supply is. And I think this behavior is very dangerous. Like I said, we've seen it before, and there's like a huge gap at the moment in communication. So something else I picked up on was all of the work that was done by 5 validators on the testnet, for then at the end, for, I think it was Diamond Hands, to contact Genuine Labs. And Genuine Labs don't speak to anyone. They only speak to a very select few people like Vegas, Diamond Hands. And something was said, and it kind of like acted as if they had done it, they had fixed it. And I think that annoyed the 5 testnet validators, which I totally understand. I'm not a testnet validator. I don't have the time to go in and be doing all of these things, because I have a full-time job I need to do on top of everything else. But I guess for them it's quite upsetting, and putting all of that time, that energy, that effort in to get to that result, of somebody else kind of taking the more or less the applaud and the applause for what they didn't do, so to speak. So some interesting stuff I've seen is like different people joking about how they're the new CEO of Terra Luna Classic. And I think this is all like kind of dangerous stuff, but I want to know what you guys think about all of this stuff, especially with this API endpoint and the changing of the supplies. Like, how do you guys feel about them excluding coins from the Luna Foundation Guard? Do you think this is really good? Do you think that we should do this? Do you think that we have the right to do this, even if the coins haven't come from the community pool? Because even though in some ways I say to myself, this needs to happen, this needs to end at some point. I would also say it's a slippery slope where suddenly, well, maybe my coins that have possibly been inactive for 4 or 5 years are now subject to them wanting to remove them more or less from the overall supply and just totally exclude them. So what I've got here is the previous schedule of digital assets from TFL of what they do and don't have. And there's more funds that are out there that they have the possibility of selling. And I think these are more the assets in question. The Luna Foundation Guard's not going to be too much of an issue because it wasn't included in these assets. So therefore, anything that happens with those assets would be very interesting. But let me know what you guys think about all of this. I'm really happy to be back. I hope you guys have been keeping safe and staying up to date with other different things. I'll try and catch up on other stuff. I've got a Ponky video coming. I've got an XRP video coming. I've got a VSG video coming. And we're working on some other stuff. The Penguin Island test build is going to be launching very soon. We've been working very hard on that. I'm very excited to bring that forward to the community and finally be an NFT project that's not only providing really good rewards and a lot of transactions and volumes, but also has a playable asset for its community. I think it's going to be really good. Shout out to all of the different projects that are currently in their launching stages. I think Miata, Lunar Burning Nights, Exodus. There's a lot of these different projects which are currently at a stage where they're doing quite good and they're getting ready to launch. And I think this is all really good stuff for the LUNC chain. I think it's really good. Although some people are kind of drilling holes in the boat and just kind of taking what they can now. There's a lot of people that aren't, and I think those are the people that really deserve credit. Not so much myself, of course. I'm pretty useless when it comes down to most things, but people like that have put a lot of time, energy, and effort in. Even someone like Strathcole working on his Galactic Shift trading card game, which is really cool. Once again, huge shout out to all of these people. Shout out to you guys. Drop a like, drop a comment, drop a subscription if you haven't already. Hit the notifications bell to stay informed. And yeah, we'll try to get a live stream out. I think there's a podcast coming as well, which I'm going to be recording tomorrow. So lots of different stuff coming. Other than that, guys, stay safe, stay humble, stay aware. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.